Hey everyone, Julian here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to work with loops and samples and make them your own. So this is a question I get asked a lot. A lot of people want to use loops and want to use samples, not just because it's easy, but because you get a lot of interesting vibe from using audio. There's just certain things that happen when something is bounced to audio that you don't really get when you're just working with like MIDI or with live instruments or something. And also, a lot of times loops just kind of have a cool sound to them, like they have kind of an interesting texture that you want to bring into your tracks, but you don't want to just use like a raw loop. So that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do today. Now, I'm going to be showing you this beat I'm working on that has a loop that I chopped up. This is a trap beat, but this could totally go for like any other genre. This is just going to be showing you some kind of techniques. Anyway, here is the beat, and here is the loop. So, you may have heard it, but the loop sounds like this. And so, what I did was I started with this. So you can hear there's kind of some cool stuff going on there, especially like here. Those little like chord effects things in the background are really cool. And again, like this is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Sometimes loops just have like that cool vibe that you really can't recreate, and you just want to use the loop. So that's what I was going for here. As you can see, I chopped it up quite a bit, and I put a few effects on it. So I'm going to show you without any effects, so I can kind of show you what I did with the chopping. So without any effects, this sounds like this. So you can hear I kind of like chopped it up, and I took parts from the original, but it's not really in the order of the original. So, or the order like with the structure of the chords and stuff, I mean. So this is kind of a good example of what I'm talking about. If you chop up a loop and just take it out of order of like the original chord progression or the original melody or whatever it is in the loop that you're trying to get, you're going to get already something that's very different from that, just because, again, you're switching it up. Like, you're rearranging it, so you can't really... The listener, if they heard the bare loop and then heard yours, they're not going to hear it as that. So, yeah, that was kind of what I did here. You can hear... And the reason why these parts repeat twice each time is because with gross beat, you have to do that. I think it's just when you're working with an Ableton, but because I used gross beat... When you have it like doubled like that, it just kind of it plays through once. It's weird, but that's what you have to do. So yeah, so another thing I did here was like I kind of actually really went in with the chops. Like if you listen to these parts, what I did here was I pitched these differently. So if you look, like I'll grab this one, this is +8, and this one is +3. So this is like another good example. Like if you can get creative with the pitching and do stuff like that where you still keep it in key, obviously, because this has, a lot of stuff going on, so it'll be easy to make it out of key or have like one part of it be in key and then one part of it be out of key as far as like the layers that are already present in the sample. But if you can get them all, in tune and stuff while still pitching it around a lot, that's another great way to like really, really get creative with it. That's something I like to do a lot, especially like here. So another thing I will talk about is gross beat. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, gross beat. Everybody knows what gross beat is. Yeah, everybody knows what gross beat is. That's true. But you can still get creative with it. And I think I did that here. So you've already been hearing this, but here's the loop without gross beat. And then I'll turn it on. So this obviously sounds like it's got a gross beat on it, but I think I used it kind of interestingly, just again, because of the way I had chopped it up and the way I kind of played with the gross beat. Like, I knew that, for example, duplicating these parts would make it sound like it would make it just play through. And you would get that full part. As well as, like, with these pitched up ones, Like, honestly, that sounds a little bit too high-pitched when it's playing without the growth speed. And I knew that going into it, and I knew that when I was making it, but I knew also that when you put growth speed on, that wouldn't be a problem. So growth speed can be a really good tool. You just kind of have to know how to use it creatively and not just like drop it on a bare loop, because that's gonna make it kind of just sound very cookie cutter and very like, it's just not gonna be very interesting. You know, it's not really taking a loop and making it your own. It's just taking a loop and putting growth speed on it. So another thing I like to do is like kind of interesting EQing. So I have this EQ8 here, and what I did was I kind of made like a bandpass filter. But obviously it's got a very, very wide sweep that it is going under, I guess. And so you can see like I did the low cut here, so it cuts out a bunch of low end. And then I also have this high cut here, but it has like a peak there. So if you listen, you can kind of hear that peak. It's very subtle, but it's just giving it more of kind of like a lo-fi sampled kind of feel, because like when you sample stuff, especially, you know, back in the day using like old samplers and all that kind of stuff, a lot of times it cuts off the high end. And that's a cool effect. You know, that's kind of like what a lot of people like that kind of lo-fi, old school kind of sampled sound. So a great way to do that is just to literally make it sound like that with EQ. So that's what I did here, and that was the point of that little bump. Because you can hear right around that high end, it gives it that kind of like tape, sort of like cassette type of feel. Now, another thing you can do is you can add like saturation and distortion and stuff. I really like to do that, and I did that here with this RC20. It's very subtle. The distortion isn't too strong, but this does kind of take it. I feel like this RC20 is kind of taking it and giving it that last little bit of like vibe, I guess. Like between the distortion and then this digital, which is like a little bit crusher, it just really helps to sort of bring it home. And you can hear now, this is completely different from what we started with. Again, this is the sample that this originally was. And then this is what we have now. So you can hear definitely quite a bit of difference there. You can kind of hear like the echoes of the original sound in this loop, but overall I think I've really taken it and made it something new. And this is what I wanted to show you how to do in this tutorial. You know, I just wanted to kind of show you how to take some loops and chop them up and make them your own, because I think using loops is a very powerful tool. Again, you can get a lot of texture, a lot of cool feel, a lot of kind of like, you know, just interesting stuff to put into your songs from using loops. There's no reason why you shouldn't use loops, but there are more creative ways that you can use them that will, you know, really, really utilize all the tools that you can use to make them something dope and something new and fresh. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Make sure to let me know what you think of this video in the comments, and make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and make sure to maybe even share this video if it really helped you out. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another tutorial.